Hey all, so back with another war video. This is War 5, pretty short one. This war I only have 4 fights because once again I needed to bring Apocalypse to ramp up to place the Horseman pre-fight for the boss. We only have so many really large Apocalypses in our group, and so this is a duty that I will probably have a few more times before this tactic is gone because Bullseye is a problem that needs to be solved, right? Pretty simple fight. I showed it last time as well, or maybe it was 2 wars ago. Anyway, last time I took this fight, I did get hit by one of the special ones. I am using an invuln again here. Like, an Ascended Apocalypse almost certainly doesn't die to one special one. But the minute I start banking on that, then I'm probably going to eat 2 or 3 in that particular fight because something will go wrong. And there's just a lot of prowess involved here. We really don't want that to happen. So we're playing it safe, we've got power backs on, and we're just moving forward. Remembering we do not have 4 charges yet, and so we are not able to stun through block. But I do have a little bit more awareness this time than I did last time about knowing when that unblockable is going to be down and when I can safely parry heavy. So I am keeping my debuffs up better here, and therefore the fight is, I think, about 30 seconds faster if memory serves correctly, and we have to dodge a few fewer special ones. So a bit of an improvement there, and we move on to Doom on this second node. Doom is not an ideal matchup for Apocalypse. Basically, I think the only time I ever really remember taking Doom with Apocalypse other than this is in Grandmaster's Gauntlet, where you use him because you're going to be locking in the double potency concussion, and specifically because of the size requirement. That said, he's not a particularly bad answer either. Doom has a lot of armor, but doesn't have physical resistance, so he doesn't do anything to stop Apocalypse's burst damage. You gotta be careful playing around the aura, but Apocalypse's specials are so long that that itself is not very difficult, right? Because with Doom, unlike Infamous Iron Man, you don't have to have the aura gone when you throw the special, you just have to make sure that the aura is gone when the special finishes. And so Apocalypse's long specials mean that it's pretty easy to play around that, because you can have like half the aura left or more sometimes and still safely throw these specials. So I am going to go ahead and try and lock in my special 1 here, as well as a heavy attack, just to make sure that we have, all 4 debuffs up for maximum burst damage, because like I said, Doom is tanky, but not against our burst damage, so we do want all of these debuffs up. We're also relying on Despair to keep his healing down in a way that we were not able to with Sauron. And funnily enough, didn't end up getting hit by Sauron, but of course I end up just being a little bit late on one of the Doom Special 1 dexes. Does seem to happen to me. And so the invuln boost comes in handy after all. Not that I really need it here because this is my last Apocalypse fight. Doesn't really matter if he loses more health. And we close it out there with the second special too. I definitely could have thrown that earlier for the exact reason I talked about earlier, but just that much simpler and safer. We move on to our mini-boss here, Jessica Jones. That's why I brought Chee'ilth. Pretty simple fight. Cleanse shuts off Jessica. Chee'ilth has a lot of cleanse. She does heal a lot here, but again, we're just going to be relying on Despair. Now, ideally in this fight, you'll see a few places in here where I block longer combos instead of parrying, and that's specifically because I'm trying to fish for a heavy attack, because if she throws it at the right time, I'm pretty comfortable heavy countering it, right? It is not the easiest heavy counter in the world. Jessica does react very, very quickly. After her heavy, you gotta watch for that recovery, and if you're not exactly on it, she will bop you. And as a matter of fact, you'll actually see that happen in here, but it is something I am watching for just in case there's an opening, because if you do land the heavy, then you're going to get significantly more bleeds, you'll do more damage, you'll have more despair, you'll have less to worry about overall. I think here is probably where I get bopped. Nope, I just go for it again. I'm keeping the bleeds up. I'm throwing the special one for more bleeds. That's the most important part. There it is. And you can just see me be slow with that heavy charge. I definitely went into it too late. But this is going fine. That pushes us to our special 2. We just have enough crit damage. At this point, we're doing enough bleed damage, and we're also staying far enough away that the personal space regen never really starts to climb, which would be when we would have to worry about our bleed up time a bit more. Move on to the second aisle here, and I am taking Maestro once again with Carl. To shout it out again, the 2 primary problems with this fight are that for immunity reasons, you can't have energy resistance, right? And so you do have to deal with his radiation damage. And then that as the fight goes on and he gets his glancing buff up, you will not be able to medium, light, medium to manually refine Carl and get the regen. Or more accurately, you can do it to refine, but you won't get the regen or the vulnerability passives because all of those are passives and thus can glance. And so the way around that, as I've talked about before, is to just take advantage of the crumbling armor on the node, take advantage of the pause from the hazard shift that you're preventing. Just allow your morph charges to build organically. Don't worry about it beyond there. And then when you get to 600, throw the special into thin air, right? Without chaining it out of a combo. Rely on his unblockable. And because you are not striking the opponent with a basic attack right then, that is going to be unable to glance and you'll get your regen. And the way this fight goes, you generally feel like you need it, right? Now, I want to call out, I probably shouldn't have thrown the striker there. I should have saved it for once he went into Superior Rage, because then that was one more knockdown I had banked to make this pain mode go that much faster, right? I could have been better. Similarly, if I had held on to the striker until I threw that special 1, then I would have been able to heavy cancel into the special. I would have gained my morph charges before, and then I would have been able to refine, right? And so that's pretty nice. There's one of my least favorite things about Maestro. That is not the first time that's happened to me and won't be the last. The fact that his medium just has such an absurd reach that he can catch you after a combo as you're dexing back. Absolutely despise when animations do that. Really grinds my gears. But we did get our 1 regen in, and it turned out to be all that we needed because thankfully we didn't eat any more than that, and we close it out. That's the way that fight goes. And that's my war. We did end up losing this one again. I will say it does feel like we are slowly learning things, but yeah, the learning process for this tactic is slow, and that's kind of painful, right? We'll keep on doing what we can, and I'll keep making these videos to hopefully help y'all out wherever I can. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, and take care.